Chicken they grow for days.
Welcome. I'd like to say welcome to all of you watching from wherever you find yourself this wonderful Sunday. I'd like to say welcome to KMTV. We are everywhere. That's why we are right here on this wonderful Sunday. Today is the 18th day of May 2025, and the month of May is going smart and fast as well. And from where I sit here in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, I'd like to say welcome to this special interview. Like you saw, we had a flyer out earlier today. We are happy to have Auntie Miatta. Auntie Miatta Fahmbulleh is an iconic Liberian, a household name when it comes to Liberia arts and cultural industry. She's an award-winning Liberian singer. She's somebody that everybody wants to follow. Every young person coming up in the industry today will look at Auntie Miatta and say, yes, Auntie Miatta did it. I think we can also do it. She's a legacy woman, a woman of substance, somebody who fought for girls' education, human rights, and women empowerment. And whatever the case may be, she's our guest on this wonderful Sunday. I thought to bring her on to just talk a little bit about the art and entertainment culture of Liberia, where we are, where we've come from as a nation, what needs to be done. She's a legend. Probably she has some advice that she can give out there to the young people that we all can learn from. Those that are in the industry can learn from and move on. So without much ado, let me bring on stage Auntie Miatta. Auntie Miatta, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you.
I say, and the smiles just keep getting brighter. What's going on? What's the secret behind this?
Listen, all those lovely things you were saying. You know, your introduction. I gotta smile.
And I must admit, you look so beautiful this Sunday, man.
Hey, thank you. God's blessings, your ancestors.
And you care to tell the public where you're joining us from today?
This Sunday, I'm in Rochester, Minnesota, visiting family and taking it easy. This family time.
It's good to have you in our state of Minnesota. Though you out of the Twin Cities area,
yes.
But it's good to have you in Minnesota. This is by far the largest concentration of Liberians. We always boast of that. Out of Liberia, here in Minnesota, we say 40,000 Liberians strong. The
Mhm.
other states can get vexed when we say it, but that's the truth. That's why this is the capital city of Liberia in the U.S. So we'd like to say
Mhm.
welcome, and let me say thanks for I mean accepting to come on a Sunday evening like this. I had to take you away from your family, though you are visiting. You had to step away and talk to us.
Yes, of course. We have to do um, what we have to do, even though we're visiting family and stuff. But I think it's incumbent on us, we the artists and we the elders, because I consider myself an elder.
You are by far. You are.
Yes, and we have to take off time to say something within the conversation of national issues from art to politics.
All right, but for the sake of the interview here, I know it might sound silly to say who is Auntie Miatta, but for the sake of the interview, like we say, every day there is somebody new that is coming up. There is some young artists out there, so they probably might be watching and listening. They might have
Mhm,
heard the voice, they might have heard the name, but
mhm.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Auntie Miatta, as you are commonly called Auntie Miatta?
Okay. Just before I get into answering that question, when I spoke to you the other day setting up this interview, I asked you, you said you were going to play Kokolio. That
Mhm.
seems to be your favorite from
Yeah.
my repertoire. And so I asked you when you were born.
Hello. You can't bring our kitchen to us
No,
here.
no, 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 I'm not going to say. But then I said to myself, it is a beautiful thing
Mm,
when a song that was made almost 10 years before the birth of this child, because I see you as my grandchild. I said the fact that they can still like it, and that is what music, real music, is about. Um, Perpetuity.
mhm,
It will last forever. 9 years before you were born, I went into the studio to record that Kukuliuko.
mhm,
And so Auntie Miatta, um, former full name Miatta Fahmbulleh, has been in the music industry, it seems, forever. I was born in Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia, 1948, and I grew up part in Monrovia and Swakopmund County the early years, and then at 9 years old, I had the opportunity to go to England with my father, who was a diplomat. Stayed in England, and after that, we went to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone has a special place in my life because it is where I received my secondary formal education at the famous Annie Walsh Memorial School. And after that, I came to Monrovia, Liberia, and then there was Nairobi, Kenya,
mhm.
where I developed more love for the music. We had a band at school, band in Sierra Leone, etc. And 1967, I came back to Liberia and worked at ELBC, Broadcasting and TV.
Oh wow.
Yes, I would have you know that I was one of the first female who read the news at ELBC in 1967.
Wow.
And I stayed with ELBC and the Ministry of Information um until 1968 when I went to America to study journalism at the time. But
You
I
see,
was,
that's some of the thing we didn't even know. Some of us didn't know that you, you know, in school
no,
year.
no, we did it as long ago as that. But I'm sure if I call the name Zariah Wright Titus, you probably have never heard. If I call the name Marva Watterson, you've never heard. If
No.
I call the name Thelma Brownell, you've never heard, because those were the women, the first women on ELTV.
Oh,
And I'm very proud and very happy to say I learned a lot from them and that I was a part of them. I even worked for the VOA, seconded from ELBC to the VOA, which had its station, main relaying station in Monrovia. And I was the first um, host of Music Time in Africa, which was a long standing program on Voice of America covering the different regions and the different histories of our music all over the continent. See, there's a lot of things you don't know.
I tell you, I tell you, you know, and
Ah,
yeah, go ahead.
yes, and then I finished with America, dabbled into some music, etc. Returned to Africa in 1975, and of course, 1977, we all went to Festac. Um, the camaraderie and everything else drew most of us to London,
Okay.
England. So I was in England after Festac, um, where I got married and continued my music. In fact, that was when Kokolioko and Adonsakisa came out. And then the next year, 1979, 80, my first album for EMI.
Mm.
And so we've been doing it ever since.
All right. That's a good one indeed, and like I said, knowing that you partly got into broadcasting and other things, there are some of these things. No matter what, when you're taking these questions, it's like an interviewee. Now become it. I mean, a
Mhm.
former interviewer is not an interview, but it's thanks for your contribution in that area to our country. But what was it like growing up for you, young
When,
Mia?
where, and at what time? What era do you want?
So let's look at your upbringing as a young girl. I don't want to say as a child, but let's
Mhm.
I mean from when Auntie Miatta got to know herself. Maybe your adolescent or
Mhm.
teenager. What kind of young woman was Auntie Miatta, if you can recollect?
Oh dear, I'm probably the wrong person um, to ask. You'd have to ask my schoolmates and other people. But no, no, no. I love people. I'm a people person, and so every school that I went, starting from the collegiate school in England, and
Hmm.
then to the Annie Walsh Memorial School, to the Kenyan High Girls School, all of those places I made long-lasting friends, friends who I'm in touch with till today.
Okay.
And I was exposed to different cultures, food, and everything else. So, and that I think made me an open, broad person in
Okay.
terms of accepting human beings. Um, I've always hung out with the music,
Hmm.
and I've met some of the most fascinating human beings. And, I can't sit down and start calling all the names. We don't want to seem as if we're eavesdropping. But if there anybody on the continent of Africa who has made music and has won the respect of people, I was blessed to interact with such people.
Hmm.
And a lot of them have gone. A lot of them have gone already. Um, just off the top of my head, Manu Dibango, Hugh Masekela, Miriam Makeba, um, my Nigerian friends, Anikulapo Kuti, and oh, so many others. Onyeka Owonu, one of my own sisters.
Yeah, so I know that's a great one indeed. But tell us, where did it all get started? How did you find this that little went into being a lifelong career, if I'll put it that way, and something that gave you a huge exposure? Where did it all start with Intimata and music?
Cyrus,
Mm.
you know, growing up in our time, and I'm talking about the 50s, from the 40s to the early 50s,
Mm-hmm.
The pastime in Monrovia was not very much. When I say pastime, uh, only the men, only the men got an opportunity to go to the boys' club or something and sit down and drink their beer. Most of the women, especially the elderly women, their occupation was going to church.
Mm.
Yes, you had Mother Black Church, you had this person church, you had that person, and they could be within the confines of the already established church.
Okay.
Now, my maternal grandmother, Elizabeth Wallace, whom I love to death, went to church every afternoon, evening. And of course, if she was babysitting me, like, did I leave you to grandma's house?
Uh-huh.
Grandma came you to church. And you're talking about what today would be considered evangelism,
Okay.
that kind of sweet, powerful music with the tambourines and all this stuff. And going to that church with my grandmother almost every day and hearing those beautiful songs, I didn't have a problem with going to church. Of
Mm.
course, I didn't have any patience for the preaching and the prayer. I didn't understand it, but the music drew me, and I traced it as far back by the time I was 5 years old. That's how it started.
Okay, from church, from grandma's taking you, and was grandma a singer as well?
Not really. Not really.
Wow.
Not that I can remember, but Grandma loved her church service, and they called them the ditties at the time. And
Okay.
you'll be surprised, but the location of the church still exists. On
Mhm.
Johnson Street and Broad Street is the Presbyterian Church.
Okay, coming just up the hill
Up
from
the hill.
Vicetown, right at the
Yes,
intersection there.
that's
As soon as
right.
you claim it,
That
okay,
was one of Grandma's main church to go in the afternoon, evening. And
okay.
then, of course, other family members went to Mother Black. Um, Others would go to other places. But that was the form of entertainment for the majority of the inhabitants of Monrovia.
Hmm.
And so that's where my love for music started.
So, what was there anyone in the family that was of a singer or something, or it's just Auntie Miatta just coming through with this that was
No,
doing
no, no, no.
family
No,
line?
this is one thing I will never do, to say that I'm the first.
Hmm.
Okay? Life is a cycle. And I was a young woman, returned from America about 27, 28 years old, when I made my first pilgrimage to Kenema, Tewa District, Grand Kitman County. That is
Okay.
where my father originates. And I wanted to discover where I came from as a person. You come from America and they ask you all these questions. And
Hmm.
so now I just returned. I'd never been there before. And I went to spend the weekend. And of course, mostly family members who knew the history, the family connections, the grandfathers. And I heard all the stories. And then somebody said, "We're playing for you tonight." I didn't know what the terminology play was. I said, "What is to play?" So, "Oh, they will sing and dance for you." I said, "Oh, fantastic." I could take pictures and send back to my friends in America. And when those ladies came to sing,
Hmm.
it was so powerful with their sasas and their harmonies. And coincidentally, the main singer in the group was my very own biological auntie, my
Hmm.
father's sister. Yes, um, they called her Auntie. What? Auntie Wia Gwendama. She was a great singer. And so when you ask, was I the first? So I'm looking at this woman. Yeah, what can you do? You haven't done, you were not the first because,
Mhm.
yes, my aunt. And then again, my mother's side of the family, the Brownells, for a long time, music has been in the Brownell family, and my mother was a chorister for many years in St. Thomas Church and loved it. And so, yeah, I would say I come from a family of musicians. And I tell you, Cyrus,
Mhm.
even added to that, our generation, our children, everywhere I turn in my son is a singer, my
Okay.
niece is a two nieces are singers, then the other one in North Carolina, they all have beautiful voices of these contemporary times. So yes, it's in the family.
That's a good thing to know. And coming up, I know in our society, especially Liberia, young people wanting to get into something. For instance, I no disrespect to soccer players. I know when I was coming up, when we playing soccer, our parents would feel that soccer was for grown-up boys. The music, who could sing, and what you could do, basically were determined by our parents. Up to today, some of those acts are still, going on. So, what were your parents like seeing their daughter? Probably they are spending a lot of money on to acquire education. Now trying to be a singer. Were they supportive of your talent? Did they see it in you?
To be very, very, very honest, when I think of that question, they didn't know half the things I was doing.
They
they,
knew they
they
knew me
didn't.
they knew Miata at home, but they didn't know Miata out there. Was
They didn't know. Seriously speaking,
okay?
because it was better to keep it away from them, because
Okay.
it wasn't just your parents, it was the African society at the time.
Hmm.
Okay. And if you think the 50s were conservative, imagine, my father has risen to an ambassador, the men are big men now, and uh, all that money he now spend, and his daughter, all she wants, stand her in front of those band boys. They didn't even have the courtesy
Wow.
to call musicians
Hmm.
musicians. They were band boys in
Wow.
that derogatory sense. So you don't tell your mom and pa, oh, I go and meet up with Francis Fuster and the Heartbeats
Hmm.
in Brookfields. You didn't do that. You went very quietly and enjoyed your music, and you came home. And yes, they probably knew I love music. I'm sure they heard from other sources, oh, your daughter is a good singer or whatnot. But it didn't go beyond that, because you were always, quote, expected to do something serious.
Hmm.
You see, music and the music profession was not considered serious in Africa.
And
My
it seems like if to say it's an African thing because I listened to this Nigerian artist Davido. He talked about how his rich father would have, bought his entire concert so that people didn't go there because he wanted him to just go to school. When he heard that Davido is having a concert, he would pay for all the tickets and wanted to keep everybody away. So it's unique to Africa, I think.
Yes, yes, it is, and it's changing.
Okay.
Okay, it's changing, but you have to understand there are many people still from the old school.
Yep.
Even my generation, where I am, when I look at the young musicians, and I say, and I find myself saying, why can't they write a simple tune, or why
Mm.
can't they do this? But I'm flexible enough to know that this is a whole new generation, different values, different energy, and you have to let them be what they are.
Okay, we're coming to that. Though you already stepped that way, but let's look at, after you had probably done your first single. I know there were some other Liberians that you probably team up with in the industry. You still remember them? Who were some of your best friends coming up in the music industry?
In
Liberian.
Liberia,
I'm talking
in
about Liberian.
Liberia, okay. We go back to Kojo Samuels, Chris Do, Dugba Karanda, and the others who were in Kapindi at the time. Beautiful Afro jazz combination. And then, of course, Tecumseh Roberts. Uh, we, we started or became friends because of the music 1967.
Okay.
Yeah. And then later on, I mean, most of the musicians who were around at the time, a lot have ended up in Europe. Lawrence Henney, um, I can remember Lawrence, who were fantastic guitarists. And when you say friends, we met at entertainment centers, like where
Okay.
you would be playing, or there was a great band. 1968, for instance, on Broad Street in the arcade there, they had so many clubs, and the bands, so many bands would be in those different places, and we would just bar hop,
Hmm.
one hop, go to one club, and yeah, oh, and to come say Miatta just walked in, and everything, are you gonna give us a song? And then we'll give the song and we'll leave them right there and go to the next place.
You just drop it and leave it right there.
Just drop it and leave it right there. Because it was just the joy. Oh, let's go, this person is playing tonight. These guys are playing tonight. But it was that kind of a harmony. The
Okay.
guys who were doing the
Oh,
music.
all right. So let us learn a little bit about, were you into just the music? Were you into the cultural aspect of it? Because I know a lot of people talk about the then cultural center where you have Fatu Giflo. When did, I mean, they started coming up? I know you people were the big sisters back then. The
Mhm.
Fatu Giflo, the CTT.
Yes.
And what can you say about those? I mean, mixing the typical band and the cultural style of the Iceland culture at that time.
But everything evolves.
Okay.
Nothing stays the same. And as a creative artist who realizes that, I don't have a problem with the merging of culture,
Hmm.
because as we look over the entertainment industry all over Africa and the world,
And I see Glendy is commenting Banja Kata and all of that.
Banja is my son.
Oh, that's all I got. I know it's just
No, but Banja can't be my friend. I
no,
mean,
no. I'm just
my
trying
colleague.
to bring it out here. But yeah, go ahead with the old
Yes.
folks.
So, you see now, you bring me up. Yes, but that's why I did not include them,
Okay.
because they were much younger, and we met up for shows.
Okay.
We met up for shows. But the scenario I was explaining before
Mm-hmm.
was the whole um,
Entertainment side of it.
entertainment, the seniors of it, because I would say Tecumseh, myself, the likes of Steve Wojula, um, and the kids who came out of the cultural thing, were a little behind us, but they were
Okay.
all fantastic. I mean, uh, I wasn't even in Liberia when this young girl came out, Fatu Giflo.
Okay.
But as soon as I heard it, I said,
That's a
"That's
start.
yeah, that's the start."
Wow.
And
So.
and and to have seen Nimba Burr
Mm-hmm.
at 13, 14 years old, absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic child. Yeah. I mean, from the time she entered on the stage, you were fixated on her energy, her bubbleness, etc.
Hmm. So I mean, I know it's a huge, shoes you leaving I know you're not leaving, like I said in the intro, the one I listened to just a few minutes ago. That just a tip. I know when I hate, I told you, I said right now my favorite song is Oba. You said, Cyrus, just wait, something coming that will knock Oba off. you know. But what was it like for you? Being called on to the big stage. I know I saw a couple of performances from you, not just in Africa as a whole, but across the world. And I listened to some of your interviews on those big networks. I'm like, we Liberians don't know what they have, what is in the
No,
different sectors and all of that.
they
I said, this
know.
is Auntie Miatta out here. So what was it like for you hitting the big stage at the peak of your career?
It's great. It's great to be recognized, and I know a lot of people have made a lot of compliments and everything, and they see the performance at the Nobel Peace Prize, as
Which of
because
course I'm going to play in a minute.
yes, and they see it as that. If you ask me, Cyrus, what is my most memorable performance?
Mhm.
1993 on Africa Children's Day. That is June 16th, Day of the
Mm.
African Child.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had to do this concert in Abuja, Nigeria, and it was being held by the National Women Council of Nigeria.
Okay.
And I wanted to do something special for the Children's Day, and I wrote The Cry of the African Child,
Mm.
which, by the way, is one of my most favorite songs. And I came all excited. The children, this theater in Abuja, it had to take like 10,000 or so, and nothing but children from 6 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, every imaginable group, an entire theater
Hmm.
of young African people. And that moved me so much. I must have given a command performance, and these children were so quiet.
Hmm.
They were so, how you expect children to. The whole time I sang that song, there was quietness. And it made me feel I had connected with a new energy. And to me, that's my most memorable performance on the international stage.
Wow. By far, I thought the Nobel one was the most memorable one.
No.
So I know it was 2011, if I remember,
Mhm,
when
mhm.
Madame Sirleaf, Lehman Wowi,
Yeah.
are two of our best when it comes to women. Madame Sirleaf was then president, seeking a second term. You
Mhm.
know, and you were called. What was it like getting that call? Your president is performing. I mean, is receiving the Nobel Peace Prize along with
So
a
I
daughter
was
of the sword.
I was excited about the Nobel Peace Prize because, for all the obvious reason, it's an international award.
Hmm.
But as to being surprised that I was called, in all honesty, I was not surprised.
Hmm.
And no, Cyrus, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
Anytime, anytime our country goes out into the world, I feel we should always send our best.
Okay.
We should send our best. And not to take away from Julie, not to take away from Marion Cassell, not to take away from any of the beautiful singers we have. I'm the oldest. and I'm the best.
Hmm.
So it was just, I mean, you know, it's a natural thing. You want to take your best. When we go to Olympics, we take our best. When we go to these other sporting events, you send your best. And I'm saying this was an international stage that demanded quality professional performances. You had the likes of Angelique Kidjo,
Hmm.
you had the likes of Gil Scott, who you should know, she's in America.
Yeah.
You had the likes of Janelle Monet and so forth. So, yeah, I win.
All right, Auntie Miatta Fahmbulleh, as she's commonly called Auntie Miatta. Auntie Miatta is no stranger in Liberia when it comes to arts and culture, a great entertainer, award-winning, iconic Liberian singer. We will take a short break, but we'll take this break with this performance that in a way you say that's not your best because you remember probably looking at the faces of those kids which you feel is your best so far. But we'll play this particular song from the Nobel Peace Prize Awards night when Madame Sirleaf, Lehman Bowie, and others stepped onto that stage and picked up the award. And Auntie Miatta, you were honored to have performed on that big stage before your president and before the war. So we'll play that performance and then we'll come back to you. We'll talk about a little bit about arts and culture now. What's different from your days? Probably the issue of mentorship with young people now coming up. What advice you have for them? We'll talk around those, and then probably we'll look at Auntie Miatta a little bit as a politician. People didn't probably know that Auntie Miatta was in politics a little bit too. We can't shy away from that.
A
So let's
big
take this
hit.
break. When we come back, we will have Auntie Miatta back on the stage with us.
Mm-hmm.
Madam President of Africa, Layman, Nawoka, calling all the women, every single woman, mother, auntie, Oba means woman. Let us unite. Come, mamas, come and save your child. Baby Earth is breathing and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's guides, ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I said come sisters, come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning and needs your strength right away. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's guides, ooh, take back your child. Take back your child. Them right from wrong, and that love can conquer all. We who rock those cradles, I said, we who carry the world. Oh, oh, hey. is a woman, strong woman. Alright, hey, hey, this is our time. This is our time. Alright, this is our time.
And I tell you, Obad, this is your time. Enter Miatta Fahmbulleh on this one. Hitting the wall stage. This performance, no, man, it blew everyone away. You could see the smiles on the face of Madame Shirley, then President of Liberia. You could see the smiles on the face of Leman Bowie, Liberia's peace icon. These are women who stood up on the stage, you know, to represent Liberia that night. And if you can see, you see for yourself the video there. You can see the energy in Miatta, man. You know, it was a wonderful one. I will bring her right back on the stage. She's laughing backstage. And then Miatta, that one, it was fiery indeed. And Papa is still electric on the lips of Liberians. And what was it like? You know, tell us a little bit of how you got that call.
How did I get the call? Okay. I received a call from the president's office. I think it was her special assistant. Someone said, this is after she has now been nominated, and we know that the program is coming up for the awards. Says that Mrs. Salif has nominated you to go to Norway. Each of the recipients always bring with them at the awards a performer, whether artist, musician, or whatnot, because at the end of the Nobel ceremony, there's always the peace concert.
Okay.
And that was where I was performing for that particular event. It was the peace concert, which brought an array of other artists together for the evening in front of the dignitaries and everyone else. I said, oh, fantastic. And it was like, it's not a paying engagement or nothing. You're gonna be supplied a ticket and accommodation, everything taken care of. I said, why not? Why not? I'd never been to Norway before anyway, so
let me get on the plane to Norway.
it was a wonderful experience, though. It was a wonderful experience, and one of the times that I got to participate in a professional organization. You know, rehearsals were time, makeup were time, costume change were time. Every single thing was time.
No, test the mark, 1, 2.
No, you can't do that to us. You know, because we actually had rehearsals.
Yeah.
We had rehearsals. You know, like my rehearsal would be at 2:30. Gil Scott's rehearsal was 3. We went and people did what they had to do. The director said, you will stand here, you can go as far as here, and so forth. And just to be a part of it and see things working at on that level, you know. And I come from Liberia, unfortunately, where excellence scares our population. Excellence, you know, the highest of professional work that you can do, not fizzy by way, hey man, let's put it this way, hey, yeah, boy, you can do it this way, etc. Mediocrity is not in my DNA. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. All right, and now let's come on to current day Liberia with the issue of arts and entertainment. You've been there, you saw it, you saw the highs and the lows, the goods and the bads. You know, I know there were moments in your career where you cried, though.
Oh, you cry all the time. Yeah, but crying, Rufus. Sorry to call you Rufus Cyrus.
You got penetrating, so you're calling me one of them names.
I know,
we plenty.
Rufus things are thinking about. So, Cyrus, crying is good. It's good. It cleanses the soul, because where do the tears come from? Tears come from an emotion, you know, and a hurt or disappointment, mourning or whatever. And when you cry, it brings it, you know, it relieves you very much so. So yeah, It's good to cry. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't cried.
Oh, okay. Even Jesus cried on the cross, though.
That's right.
So we all that human thing. Either it's a good cry or a bad one.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, we always pray for the good one. Tears of joy. So let's compare your days and what you see today in our industry. What can you say?
Um, what do I see? I see. I see the loss of the genuine love for the art.
Mhm.
Um, when we were playing music and wanted to be on stage and got on stage, it was for the love of the music. And that's why most of the artists of the 30, 40, 50s, and 60s were broke.
Hmm.
60s, yes, because the love of music was the motivation factor. 2025, love of money is the
Wow.
motivation. And because of that, you have many great compositions and all this stuff being done by artists today, but it cannot really be appreciated because there's no feel coming from the artist.
Hmm.
There's no real deep feeling. I mean, some of them will cuss me out, but they know what I'm talking about because we discuss it when we get together as musicians, what is lacking and what they feel we had and they didn't have. Yeah.
So you actually have those conversations with them.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But you know, Auntie Miatta now, wow, these kind of, wow, these kind of there for. You know, I don't care how much money and everything else you're making. Um, what is your purpose? And I get a little serious because I read somewhere many, many, many years ago, and I think it was from Brother Wale Shoyinka. He said that Africa, Africa does not have the luxury of just dancing, and singing with no purpose.
Hmm.
The artists, your artists, are those that will carry the message of your culture, etc. You see, so we have to concentrate. We have a purpose here. The artist, the artist holds a very, very important part in the society. You understand? Look at what has happened in the Nigerian film industry. There's no country that doesn't know about Nigeria. There's no country where their films are not showing, exhibiting their culture, etc. You got people in West Africa, Holy Fire, Holy Ghost, all those Nigerian slogans. And I
Hmm.
was even in South Africa and heard my South African friends with those same Nigerian expressions that they had gotten out of their movies.
Hmm.
And you use the art to educate our people. Use the art. We cannot put everybody in the classroom.
Hmm.
We cannot put everybody on this continent in a classroom within the next 30, 40, 50 years. We can't. But yet, we should be able to educate the people and bring them up to par. Bring them up to par where they can understand their function in the society. You see, the artist is supposed to be telling our people, don't drop your garbage in the street
Hmm. To their songs.
through their songs. The artists have to protect the young girls, give them the messages to young boys. Do you understand? We can't just wait and it's the government's work. No, it's not the government's work, it's our work to enlighten our society.
Now let's look at let's bring it home to Auntie Miatta as a mother, and looking at what girls are going through in Liberia today, the need for education, the need for mentorship. What can you say about to this Liberia, the issue of girls, and what are those challenges?
You know, you know, my father was a countryman.
Mhm.
Okay, um, affectionate. I'm using that term affectionately, but just to tell you, my father was a very um, old school indigenous man. But from a child, I realized that my father was much more affectionate to us, the girls, my
Mm.
sister and I. Yes. And we got a lot of love. We were spoiled. We manipulated him, etc. Now,
Eh,
I say that to say,
mhm.
I find it so strange. I find it so confusing that in my society in 2025, women have lost the respect in the society.
Mm.
Young girls have lost their moral way, and it's a very depressing thing, you know. All the work we did, Cyrus, from 205 right up until 2017 in terms of promoting girls' education, promoting the values, trying to mentor girls, etc., etc. The
Mhm.
moment that government was out of place, everything seemed to have just broken down. So I'm saying to myself, wait now, every time government change or whatnot, we have to come back to these same girls, or they could be older, and say the same thing to them. What are we not doing? Our children are not getting love in the homes. The children are not getting any love in the homes. And all of those things, when I think about it and try to analyze it, etc., I put it at the doorsteps of mothers.
Mm.
Yeah. I put it at the doorsteps of mothers. And that is why I did Oba. I wrote Oba in um, probably 1995, 96. Didn't release it until 205. But it was to say, come on, our mothers, we got to take control. We have to take control of our children to guide them. We are supposed to be the strong one, and I know we are the strong ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are the strong ones. So what is this? Our children are falling on drugs. Our children are into gangs. Our children are into all kinds of. It comes back to mama.
Mm.
Mothers, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough like our grandmothers then did. You're not doing enough.
Like you talk about, grandma carrying you to church, where
Hmm.
you picked it up, started to know that you can do something. Where are the grandmothers these days?
That's right. That's right. And I remember a particular incident. Maybe this is about 3, 4 years ago.
Hmm.
It was on the news. A 3-year old was raped within her very environment of the house and the yard, etc. And my first reaction, where was her mother
Hmm.
or auntie or grandma? You mean nobody were in the yard
When
watching
this
this
when this
three year
happened.
old? Nobody saw who did this? It could never have happened in our time. It could never, because everybody looked after everybody. Or let's put it this way, everybody was busybody enough.
Hmm.
You understand? But that busybody kept us in the straight and narrow path. We had one busybody woman living near us, and all of us knew when you hiding from your mom and papa in the night to go to the party, don't pass in front of her house.
Your mom will know it before you even get to the party.
This is it. You see? So we had that kind of a society. How does a 3-year-old playing in the yard, for heaven's sake,
And gets
gets
raped.
taken away and nobody
Nobody knows.
sees it? And nobody sees it.
Hmm. So I see one of our viewers, Nancy Bala. Nancy Bala just commented. She said, I have been saying it. I blame the home first before society. Yes. So it is that's something that is strange. It is something that people would think that it should start from home, but now it is a societal issue.
Mhm.
What can be done?
Yes, it is. It is. But during the war, we all spoke about how family values and everything had gone out of the window, and therefore um, these things were going to happen. We need to find out now what to do. How serious do we want our society to come back a little? I'm saying not everything that was done in the 50s and 60s were perfect and everything else, but our society is totally void
Hmm.
of integrity, of principle. Those things that we learn at Sunday school.
Yeah.
Those things we learn at Sunday school. I always say I learned the Bible not from sitting in the church or going to Sunday school.
Mm-hmm.
When we were children, we go with our families, and at a particular time, all the young people we go in the back with a Sunday school teacher, and they're telling us stories that showed moral lessons, and teaching us, thou shalt not steal. Why you must not steal? And we would answer, and thou shalt not bear false witness against that. Why is that? Don't lie on. You know, it was a part of our bringing up. That's why at times I ask the church, what are you teaching the children? What are you teaching the children? And this applies also to the Islamic section as well. What are you teaching the children? Because we just see a society, one generation to the other, becoming more and more and more materialistic, more greedy.
Hmm.
Yes, more greedy, and
Envy, jealousy.
so much envy, jealousy, and people talk about this unity. Yes, the politics has done its own, but Liberians, we have to recognize that right through from 1990 until what 2003, for heaven's sake, we were
Hmm.
killing each other. We were killing each other.
Hmm. And Dr. Batum Kula, who's also following Rice, I think he was responding to Nancy and the home, and he says, Nancy, everything starts from the home, and sadly, the society is an extension of the home. More fabrics of Liberian society is torn. It's now time for all of our institutions to put it back together. Dr. Batum Kula.
Yes,
I know you cannot agree. I mean, more with what he say.
yes, I agree,
Mm-hmm.
because it does start in the home. If if a young boy grows up and sees his father abusing his mother, beating her, etc., this young man is going to grow up into a violent man. He's going to do exactly the same thing to
Mm.
his own wife, etc. These things don't happen out of, they don't happen out of the vacuum
Mm-hmm.
for every reason or cause. So the solutions we have to find, and the home,
Mm-hmm.
what I knew as home does not exist today.
Wow.
Does not exist today. Not with young people. Not with
Mm-hmm.
young people at all. You'll find my generation of people who have stayed together 53 years. or 60 years. But if you take the marriages of the young people in our society for the past 20 years, come on, they're lucky if they can make it at 5.
Wow, I'm clicking 10 in July though. So
Really?
is it really? Yes, indeed. God's blessings though. And
But
we will take a
where have you been? Where have you
I've
been?
been here.
You've been in Minnesota.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I can tell you a little secret. Most of the Liberians of my generation who united in the United States of America married. Beautiful, we celebrated them. By the time they reached Monrovia, 5 years, everything was shaking.
Wow.
Yes, because a man who is faithful to one woman, wait, do you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, society.
A man who will only go out with his wife. Oh, he cannot only behind for him. you know, all kinds of negativism is there to jar relationships. That's why I said. So you are very fortunate. Before you go back to Monrovia, make sure you have a solid. Because whether you want to or not, your friends that you meet on the other side in Monrovia, trust me, they will tempt you.
I take your word, and we'll take another break, and I know it didn't matter. I will say, why you not take the one from again? There was a splendid performance that I watched. I thought that the public should also see. Probably some people have not seen it, of Auntie Miatta at the Jazz at the Park Festival in Ghana. Jazz at the Park Festival in Ghana, and I just thought to play this as we take a break. When we'll come back, we'll go into a little bit politics. Auntie Miatta as a politician. All right, so folks, let's bring you this one, a performance by Auntie Miatta in Ghana. I don't know when it was. I probably she will tell us when we'll come back, but let's get this.
Soul, her spirit, her mind, and she's about to connect with you on another level. Somebody say another level. The artist tonight is no other than Miatta Fahmbulleh. She's a Liberian singer and social activist. And as of 2017, she was the interim coordinator of Concerned Citizen to protect the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, her birthday was on the 15th of April. And over here at the Jazz at the Park on International Jazz Day, I would like you guys to join with me while she comes on stage and we sing a happy birthday for her. She is 75 years younger. 75 years younger. That means she's been over 30 years in the jazz game. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Miatta Fahmbulleh, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Tell you time and time again how much I care. Sometimes I feel my heart will overflow. Hello, is it me you're looking for? But I wonder where you are, wonder what you do. Are you what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? Or is someone loving you? Tell me how to win your heart. I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying I love you. Said I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. I love you.
And I tell you, Auntie Miatta, I think that was another epic one. Indeed. Jazz at the park. and I never knew we are both April borns, though.
Oh, I'm
Let's see.
smack that. April the 15th.
And I'm the 23rd, though. So we are
Ah,
just,
okay.
yeah.
No, but
So,
you're not in
and
Aries. You're not in
yeah,
Aries.
so,
You're Taurus.
so
Oh,
I'm
they're
Taurus.
strong people too.
So yeah, I think that was a great performance indeed. I see people say yes, yes, yes. There you go. My diva, you rock. Cora Elizabeth Taylor is saying, so true. Even in the school back home, we learned the Bible in school. It was a major subject. Phoebe Kiko is also commenting. A lot of comments that are coming up on our live feed. Somebody said, wow, that's Vaba Salifu. She said, wow, I think she's wilding at the performance there. And in the meantime, like I said, you're not just an icon from Liberia or the sub-region, but the world at large. And that's something I think most of the young people will tap into, looking at the fact that you say it as it is. You know, you tell it as it is. And we must commend you for your service to the nation. And like he was introducing you, let's jump into a little bit of your life as a person who fought for social justice. At one point, you served as head of the concerned citizen to protect the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did you get to that point?
You know, our people have very short memory.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very short memory. In 2016, going 2017, Liberia was at a place where the population in the conversation was about the chairman of the Elections Commission being an American citizen, and why was he going to be sitting, blah, 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 and all of those things. And so we thought it was something to highlight to the Liberian public that, you know, there are constitutional rules. Today, everybody in Liberia is talking about the rule of law, the rule of law. The law is the law, you know, as if it's something new. When did we start worrying about the law? We've always broken the law. Yes, constitutionally. Because, like I say, in 2017, the gentleman who was chairman of the Elections Commission, if I can remember, was Councillor Kokoya.
Jerome Kokoya.
Jerome Kokoya. And there were those of us who felt that Jerome Kokoya should not conduct the elections in Liberia because technically he was an American citizen. I realized that my country has accorded individuals with dual citizenship. But my problem here is all those who are holding dual citizenships, especially American citizenship, the American Constitution tells you you can have 50 citizenship. The US citizenship comes first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, whoever is in that position may not be delivering to the Liberian people, but to his country,
The US.
the US. And I think we need to deal with those facts. We just can't, we throw them out. You know, we throw them out. Here it is, the country has been polarized for over 7 months over an issue of technicality and the rule of law and the Constitution and the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yep.
Before that, we paid it no mind. So you didn't know of that episode. I was standing there in front of the Elections Commission holding my banner,
Only a placard.
holding my placard. And the interesting thing about it was Liberians were passing in their cars and cussing us. Y'all go sit down, y'all get out of here.
Y'all go sit down. When anything happen now, you jump on the plane and go back to America.
This is the but they were not very supportive. But of course, I guess they didn't understand. They did not understand the issue, and simply we just let it ride. We just
Wow.
let it ride.
And
Yeah.
and it did still true. He did conduct the elections, and he sat there and conducted the election.
Yes, he did.
So do you think if you are to, you can still take up that tax again, or you can mentor people into making sure that these things are adhered to, the rule of law issues? I think we just before we saw an attempt during the presidency of former President Weah, when the issue of Wabudiki, he was nominated to go to the same elections commission,
Yes.
and it was a huge stand up, and the Senate had to black that. A lot of legal people stepped into it, but you, as a social justice person, you were not listening to it then.
Mhm.
Will you do it again if you have to?
No, man, I'm not doing one time enough. You didn't hear my message too bad. Listen, Cyrus. Auntie Miatta is 77, and I'm blessed.
Mhm.
I'm blessed. Um,
77 years young.
yes, okay, say whatever. I'm 77 years young, etc. And I've got. There's so many things I want to do. There's so many things I want to do.
Mhm.
Advocacy will come in it. My music will come in it. Um, the political side of me will come in it. Um, it's just how I feel at the time. But to say I'm going to take off time, um, nobody mentored me.
Mhm.
Cyrus, we were not mentored. We just followed the values in the society.
Okay.
All right. My political introduction was a personal thing because I never realized anything about politics until I was 19 years old when my own father was in prison
Mm.
for treason and subversion and all these imaginary things. But that was my introduction into politics vis-a-vis those who wield the power can suppress, imprison,
Mhm.
and so it's taught me from then, that we have to stand up. We have to stand up for what is right. We have to stand up for the truth. And I guess people have to feel it. Because if they don't feel it, they're not coming on board.
Mm.
Yeah. If they don't feel it, they're not coming on board. Seriously speaking, you know, ask others about the attitude of our people. I say we're standing there fighting for them,
They
saying,
didn't care.
y'all go sit down, man. But the good thing about it is that
Mhm.
once you know your people, you know what their reaction will
You,
be.
just, you know exactly what will come, and you did not just stop there. At one point, you stepped out to becoming a senator. You ran for the
So,
Senate,
yes.
and
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 in
and what
that
what 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 led you into that?
voices of voices of some women. Voices of some women, my dear, because I mean it was not a unilateral decision.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. It wasn't a unilateral decision. Um, there were some women in the society around who said, "Look, Indiana, you gotta go in for this thing." Whether they were setting me up, whether they were genuine, etc. But it was like, you're one of the formidable women who they felt, would have an opportunity to go and represent the women.
Mhm.
But, we found out about the politics. Depending on women, to vote for women is still an issue in Africa.
Hmm.
Yes. And um, and
You
in the
think
politics,
do you think is something disappointing, especially Madam Shirley for 12 years as our first female president, fought for women inclusion. I remember this whole campaign about 70-30 in government, and there was a whole thing. And up to now, we see women still getting the struggles in getting into elected positions.
Mhm. My honest opinion is that Madam Salif did not use her power and position to empower women.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. Um, because in other places where women are fighting for empowerment, etc., the opportunities are there. You can't just stand up and say, "Oh yes, we want women to be empowered." How do they get empowered? They get empowered by money. They need to have money to run their campaigns to do exactly the same things as the men do. But with Madame Salif, it was, oh yeah, we want you to run, etc. Go and run. And some people didn't even have $500.
Hmm.
Yeah. How do you go and run in campaigns where the guys are spending 100,000, 200,000, and you got a fantastic female from Granby there, and she ain't got nothing but a $5,000 budget?
Hmm.
How do you expect her to get elected when so much of the politics now is depending on money and the benefits of it? Yeah. So when we talk about women empowerment, we have to think seriously about it. And we've been discussing this off and on. Um, Economically, women are not on the same level as men in the country. They are not on the same level. And so it's going to be very, very, very hard to do that. I find out that we still have a very paternalistic society,
Hmm.
in that, yes, in that a lot of men control the women from in the home. It only takes your husband to say, you better not vote for that woman there, or you will see how much money you get for the house this month. And her vote is changed.
Hmm.
Yes, those realities exist. You see, those realities exist. So we have a lot of work to do. The women have a lot of work to do.
How do you feel seeing a woman that is on the ballot, well educated, qualified, and these barriers that you talk about are being erected? We saw the latest was in Nimba. We saw the campaign of Ide Conglo where
Hmm.
strongly fought by the men, including the vice president of the country.
Hmm.
Tribal issue, the issue of a woman cannot stand where men can stand. When you hear these comments, how do you feel?
How do I feel? Look, the thing here, Cyrus, we have to be careful um, when we are propagating this gender thing. We have to be very, very careful. I, Miatta, I've passed over some women candidates
Hmm.
for male candidates because, in as much as I want to support a female candidate, if she doesn't have the same integrity, she doesn't have the same qualification like her opponent, the man, then I'm sorry. I'm going to vote for the man. Now, that's Miatta personally. So, those of us who can let our people know, yes, women, we want. I was never one for the 30%.
Hmm.
I think the 30% of women put in constitutions, etc., is patronizing. It's very, very patronizing because if there's 51% of women out there who are competent,
They should have the opportunity.
they should have the opportunity. Don't limit us to that 30% because in my sister country, Rwanda, obviously the women there are doing something because they make up something like 60% of their parliament.
Hmm.
Women, yes, indeed. And if you follow our course from 205 Second Republic, we started off with 8 women in the Senate in 205, 206. Look where we are now. We've gone to 2. We've gone to 2. The number of women in the legislature in 206 was 13, 14, 14 in number. Today, I think we got 7. So something is happening. Something is happening. And we, the women, have to ask ourselves, what is going wrong? What is this, etc., etc.
Wow. That's a huge one indeed. We're clicking on. Probably will be here for the next couple of minutes. But Auntie Miatta, the last time we saw you on the big stage in front of the cameras and all of that in Liberia was during the inauguration of President Joseph Boakai, and you headed that committee. What was it like for you at that point? And then Miatta would decide what happened here, what happened there. You were all even on the cameras, and you gave you the
Look,
schedules, arranging the things.
Cyrus, let me tell you something. Like young people, it's a spoil you show.
Let's hear you.
From the time I was informed about chairing the committee, I was honored. I thought it was highest respect, and I dreamed about it for 2 nights, exactly what I wanted to see, what I thought it should be. But unfortunately, politics stepped in the way. Politics stepped in the way, and so at the end of it, it just left a bitter taste in my mouth. And of course, people trying to tarnish my reputation, but I knew they would find out sooner or later, etc. But the English people say too many cooks. There were too many cooks in the kitchen for that inauguration. Yeah, everybody wanted to do something.
Ask more chicken soup, ask more salt.
Yeah, everybody was recommending the choir. Everybody recommending the child who can sing. Everybody recommending. Oh. Every pastor in the church forgetting it. I don't know what is this. The thing is a talent show.
Wow.
Yes, but for me, again, I took the experience. I took the experience as learning more and more about my country and what happens in it. It was another lesson for me.
Wow. And I know you say it left a bitter taste. Probably you will not want to say how bitter it was, but this whole public perception about Auntie Miatta eating the inauguration money. What would you want to say? Have you had the opportunity to respond to some of those criticisms and questions about how you spend the money, whether there were accounts given after inauguration? Were there reports out there from this entire committee?
Everything was out there, darling. Everything. The inauguration ended. The inauguration ended on the 22nd. By the 23rd, they had already started on the radio, etc., with the eating of the money. And so, obviously, for our committee, it was important. Let's get this report here of the breakdown, the everything, blah, 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 blah. I handed my report to President Joseph Boakai on the afternoon of February the 9th. at the executive pavilion. And if people really wanted to know um, the truth, it was there for the public, etc. They could have gone to the audit department and asked for it, etc. No, but it was just easier to spoil somebody's name. Plenty of people were already vexed that the old man came and took me for the chairman, and I didn't know I was off in London there doing my thing. When I came back, he said, the president, I pick you. But I didn't know so many other persons wanted to be chairman or chairlady. And then they went and gave it to me. And then there was no money to be chopping on the side. So more people got vexed.
Wow.
Yes, that's all it was. That's all it was. And I'm sure I'm not the first person who has been left with a bitter taste in their mouth. Many Liberians have ventured out to do programs and everything that other people sabotage, etc. And for it not to work, etc. So I just had to accept it. I just had
Wow.
to accept it.
Wow, that's a huge one. Yeah, now I'm getting to realize how bitter the taste is. But are you still in contact with the president since inauguration, since you turned in
Of
your reports?
course, that my president, he said if I ain't in touch with him, I'm in touch with my
Did you
president.
get an offer for something? Probably Auntie Miatta
Oh
could
yeah,
help in
yeah,
some way.
of course, they wanted, you know, they wanted me on board, and I had to explain and convince, and I think both to the vice president, who was the first who came, and the president, that look, I'm 76 years old, and I'm in a stage of my life where I like to do the things I love to do, and at the pace that I want to do it. And I don't really think I fit into government. I don't want to be held down because, as you just saw, if they call me to a jazz festival, I come.
They say, "Oh, the
You
minister
know?
is going to jazz festival."
Exactly. You see? Then they can't call me here again. I don't. Oh, all kind of job that she didn't even sit that I didn't even want none of that talk.
Not even a bowl Auntie Miatta that you could serve on and provide your expertise.
You know what I found out almost 20 years ago?
Hmm.
You see those boards you got there?
We got there, including yourself, for all of us.
You see those boards we got there?
Hmm.
They're there for people to be getting lay hand out to keep them going.
Hmm.
They have absolutely no major decision on the managing directors of the companies. Plenty of
Wow.
us know that. The board can come up with A, B, C. If that managing director and his colleagues now decided doing C, D, E, that board just there. That really you take your sitting fee and go by your business. Whether
Wow.
it be NPA or whether it be LPs, RC or whether it be any of those entities. Once upon a time, the boards worked. Once upon a time, you're talking about in the 70s,
Hmm.
where when they call meeting, board meeting on the MD, is a serious thing. But now all MDs are politically bigger than the people on their boards. They don't listen to them. So I will not go anywhere, you understand me, to say I'm
Hmm.
on the board. Yeah, I can get $1,000, $2,000 at a sitting, but I have absolutely nothing to do with the decisions made as to the running of the corporation. That's the way I feel. That's what most of those boards consist of. And if any of them want to be really truthful, that is what is happening.
Do you think you're one of those who have the president's ears?
Yeah, I got
Pick up
an
the phone
ear
and say, Mr.
when I
President,
see him.
XYZ. Well, I mean, even though you're not in government, but probably you are one of the elders of the land, like you put it. You
Yes,
have the
I'm an
ears of the
elder,
president.
and you know how I do it, Cyrus. And I
Hmm.
and I said to the president, I said, I won't be running to your office every other day. I say for weeks or months you may not see me. I said, but when I ask for an appointment, you must know I have something serious I want to share with you. That's all. And I go in and I say my 1, 2, 3. Thank you so very much, Mr. President, for allowing me in the audience, and I leave. So I feel he respects me. He respects me enough. He respects me, and he will listen to what I have to share. But I'm saying, Cyrus, let's look at this thing seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Nima Boyka is the president of Liberia. There's no reason I'm supposed to be running up and down there every weekend. Like I see so many other people just going and taking up time, and this man has work to do.
I think at one point he complained about that, about not having his, time. Even his home is flooded with people.
Yeah.
You go to the office, people are there. You go home, people are there.
That's right. Find it very, very strange. Managing directors leave their office, you see them in the mansion. In the evening when the old man is going home, you see them following home. Oof. I don't know. Wow. But no, when he gets message from me, he responds.
Oh, that's good. Then that is good. We almost out of time, Auntie Miatta, but I know I wanted to close up with something you sent me. How do you call that? I think you said something cooking, right? Something new cooking.
Still cooking it.
You're still cooking. And
still kicking.
Yeah? It's still kicking.
Still kicking. Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm still kicking it.
She's still kicking it. And you call it Amosaka?
Amosakesa.
Amosakesa.
That was also before your birth.
Oh Lord.
but we've done a remix. This is the remix that's coming on the album this time.
All right, so I got it in. Let me see what I can roll this before we take your parting comments. And I see one of the followers are saying, after she leaves, can you play some of her songs so that we can party here? But anyway, Auntie Miatta do have her YouTube channel. So I believe if you want to party the best way, follow her on YouTube and enjoy the song, stream it. So let's play this one. She said it was even before I was born, but I'm happy to leave the remixing. So I was saying, but now I'm hearing it. And we'll come back. We'll part with Auntie Miatta.
Okay.
All right. This is not in video, like she said, it's still kicking. So it's in audio, but you gotta cover just for you to see.
Ziggy Colombo, I said Ziggy Colombo, but I ain't got no voice. I want to love, but I ain't
tell you, Amo Sakisa is a remix to this one, Still Kicking It, she calls it. And the beautiful voice of the legendary icon, you see her there on the screen, and the Miatta in this one. And yes, she said it was done way before I was born. But then the remix is this one she's working on. And then Miatta, is it the first time it's being played out here?
Second time.
Or it's the second time it's been played to the public? Yeah, so you want to tell us a little bit about this song and why you decided to do the remix?
Well, everybody's been calling for a remix. And then, why you can't do some of your old songs? Why you can't do this? Why you can't do that? And so I actually put it on Facebook at one time. And I said, okay, I'm supposed to do a remix. What song would you recommend out of the repertoire? And the song that got the most votes for a remix was the Amo Sakisa. And and Cypher, let me tell you now, Cypher the King was one of those who said, yes, Auntie Miatta, you got to do it. I said, if I do it, will you be doing it with me? And he said, yes. And so when I came to Monrovia, I got together with FA and Cypher. And the rest of the music, they are on it. So I had to bring some young people on. Yes.
Yes, so, and that was good of you, though, to see you doing a remix featuring one of those from our A side for the King, FA, and it's a good one indeed. But what's the meaning of this Amo Sakisa?
Where you go, the translation, it comes from the Congo. Congo expression. And then and that expression was, I'm almost satisfied. But then by the time it came down through the linguistic ears of the Liberians, it became Amo Sakisa.
Okay. So
Amo
it's like
Sakisa. It's a game we
right.
used to play. It's a game we used to play as well.
Those games under the moonlight, something like that?
Well, it was not in the moonlight. We played it as children. Amo Sakisa, Amo, and we dance around, etc. in circle. And then one person is in the middle and say, I want to dance and I want to sing, whatever motion.
Okay.
So
And
I took it from my childhood days. That was
bringing back the memories. So if you had to keep doing these songs, your songs, remixing them, maybe is this something that we can expect? I know you're not want to say it out there, you literally surprises. Maybe the Coco Lyoko, I know it sounds new now. I mean, when you want to, while you are still around with this voice that I don't think is retiring anytime soon, even 85, you still be kicking it.
Yeah, I know, but there's certain songs. I mean, other people can tell me if I'm wrong, but the Coco Lyoko, I feel there's nothing new to add to it.
Okay.
There's nothing new to add to it, and you don't just want to be coming back with the old songs. I've got so many unrecorded songs, and that's what you're going to hear on Still Kicking It.
Okay.
Yes, we've got song there that sounds Ghanaian, there's song there that sounds Liberian, Sierra Leonean, etc. It's an embodiment of the culture that I've been exposed to.
And I see your son has stepped into the limelight. Banja Carter. He got some good songs out there. I hope I can have him one of these days, probably along with you, so that he tells us growing up seeing his mom, the legacy. I will probably try to steal him, and we can just come on here and just talk one evening, to see you passing down, and he's not letting the touch to just burn out. He's picking it up gradually from where you are leaving it.
Yeah, see, he grew up with it. It's a part of him. I would have been surprised actually if he didn't show any semblance of music or love for music, because I was taking my son to my gigs when he was 3 years old.
Oh, so it started to sink in already.
Yeah,
Like he had to say when a woman is pregnant, you
yeah.
sing to your baby while in the tummy, read to your baby. And people
No,
just feel that.
I was taking him to gigs, and he was hanging out with musicians, you know, trying to see how the bass works or the guitar and all of those things. So he was exposed to it from early childhood, like I say, from 3 years old. I remember taking Banja with me to a gig I was doing in New York, in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
And I got him all dressed up. Yeah, because you know, I didn't have time for babysitter all the time. And I dressed my son up in his waistcoat and his jacket and everything else. And Banja came with us to the club. And my cousins and Banja sitting on the side while I'm doing the performance, and my son is beating on the tambourine and
Mhm.
jamming. He
There you
had a
go.
rhythm as early as that. He
Wow.
had rhythm already. And after I finished singing, this gentleman walked up to me. He knew now the people in the corner had to have been related to me because of their reaction.
Hmm.
Like as they, and he comes to me and says, "Excuse me, ma'am." I say, "Yes." He said, "Is that a midget or a baby?" So,
You
so
sounded you sounded about it sounded about absurdly. I can remember when I called the executive mansion when she was then president. We attended a press conference at the executive mansion, and I asked a question about kids still selling in the street,
mhm.
and then she jokingly said, "I think I gotta call Peter quickly and ask him who sent the child to the marshal." So, because I was practically the youngest amongst the
Yeah,
reporters assigned at the time. So she took it to
yeah.
everybody, and all of my colleagues took it. Oh, baby reporter, baby reporter. It was like a joke. Whenever we go to the second marshal, somebody say, "Who's the bitch over there?" That dude, he was drinking in
Yeah.
already at
Yes,
that age.
he started early. He started. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. Uh, but it's in the back of his mind.
So it's no surprise to see him doing what he's doing today. And
No, not at
we were
all.
we're talking about the remixing. We already have a protest right now that the Batunkula comments leave the original Kogo Lioko alone. It's a classic exclamation. So you can see that, like you said, there are some songs that don't need to be touched. It's oh it can get old.
This is
So
it.
it's
This
already a
is it.
protest.
So I did
Yeah.
my best,
Yeah, so and then Miata, it was good having you for almost 2 hours now.
and
And
I've
we could
enjoyed it.
just keep
Thank
going,
you.
keep going, keep going because
Thank
you are a
you.
person who loves your country so much. You love what you do. Uh an iconic person like you. When you told me you were in the US, I'm like, hey Miata, can we have a talk? You say, hey Cyrus. I say, I beg you, let me see an hour. And I knew we just the lawyer and the pastor, then when you give us 1 minute of your time, we dragging you 5 hours.
No, but it was enjoyable, so that's
Yeah.
why it went on as long as it did.
And I hope we can have you around whenever you want. You have something to say. I know
Mhm.
you don't bite your tongue. You say it as it is. We always have the platform available for you. While you're around, we still want to hear you. And there is
Mhm.
anything new, let us know. We will all kick it together. So
Thank
as
you,
we
David.
as we part ways with you, what exactly probably we didn't touch on? You have some maybe you want to talk about in your closing before we leave you. Is there anything special?
Well, Creole man say, tell truth, not a spoil friendship.
Mhm.
Did you understand that?
Yeah, saying the truth will not spoil friendship.
Should not.
Should
Should
not
not.
should not spoil friendship.
Yes. And so, um, to my Liberian people who sometimes I think they get confused with my role as a singer or my role as a social commentator, etc. Tell friend true, not a poor friendship. If I not be seen, I not go say nothing. If I
Hmm.
be seen, I go say something. And I wrote on Facebook 2 days ago that my only friend is Liberia. My only friend is Liberia. I have no loyalty to friendship and blah 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 blah. My my friend is Liberia, and therefore whatever I feel about the forward march or the backward march of my country, it is my right and it's my obligation to say something. I mean no harm.
And
I
I
mean
like
no
that.
harm. I mean no harm.
I like that. Auntie Miatta,
Thank you,
is there
Cyrus.
any
When you
final
coming
words?
home? When you coming
Sorry?
to Liberia?
Uh, anytime soon. The thing about Liberia, I just
You
get
have
there.
kids?
Yeah, I have
Lovely.
I have four beautiful girls and a boy.
What five already?
So when you're talking about how your other girls used to manipulate your dad coming up, I'm like, Lord, this thing is a trick. It
Oh, it's
just
a
going.
generational. It's a
Yeah, it just
generational thing.
yeah.
Oh,
So
it's a
so
generational thing. They will
yeah,
use you to the end. But let me
yeah.
tell you something,
Mm-hmm.
Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
Those four little girls, right?
Yeah.
Four girls.
Mm-hmm.
They will be there for you until your dying day.
Amen.
They will be there to look after you when you get sick.
Amen.
They will be there for you. The boy, he go and marry his own wife and go that side. But your girls will be there for you forever.
Amen.
So you are
Yeah.
blessed. Very
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Auntie Miata, for taking up your time and being with us. It was wonderful having you. And like I said, whenever you think there is something to say, you got
good.
my number.
I'll
You
get
know
it
how
said.
to reach me. Just get me, and we will have your
Thank you
voice
so much.
or your
Thank
message
you
out
so
there.
much.
And let me say thanks to all of our viewers, our followers, people who've been commenting. Your Auntie Miata is still here kicking it. She's not going anytime soon. So when the album is up, probably we'll have you back so that we can officially talk about it. But have yourself a very, very great rest of the evening.
And you
And
too.
I didn't say, but happy Mother's Month. We're still in the month of May, and we
Yes.
must I reference all of you mothers, who've been there, even those that don't have children but are taking care of other people's children. You are all wonderful people. We must reference you. Happy Mother's Day. Have yourself a great evening.
Bye bye.
All right, so I will leave you with this one with Ente Miata. It was a great one indeed, and we hope we can keep doing. Somebody just message me, Cyrus, why can't you keep doing this every Sunday? Look, when we can, we will. So let me leave you with this one, Ente Miata Fahmbulleh, with the song Goodbye. That's at the Nobel Peace Prize 2011 when Madame Sirleaf, Leman Gwawi, and others received the Golden Award. Have yourself a wonderful time. I'll catch you here another time on KMTV. Cyrus McGee is the name. Be blessed.
Calling all the women, every single woman, mother, auntie, or bar means woman. Let us unite. Come, mamas, come and save your child. Baby earth is breathing and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's guides, ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I said come sisters, come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning and needs your strength right away. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's guides, who take back your child. Take back your child. Oh, wow, oh, this is our time. Let's hear it, girls. Oh, wow, oh, this is our time. Oh, woman, oh,
for politics, entertainment, news, and business. And this is KMTV. We are on the screen, we are everywhere. The best online Liberian platform you have. Make the best use of it. My name is Frank Auntie, and I endorse this channel.